Hello friends, welcome to Virtual Studio 32. My name is Emily and I am the owner and creator of Studio 32. Thank you so much for being here, for choosing our 5-day Pilates series. In this series, you have 5 days with me. We are going to work on the basics. We're gonna build our way up to some standing series, and we are gonna learn a lot. Maybe you're stepping back into Pilates, and so maybe it's just sort of a reintroduction. Either way, we are gonna be using a few pieces of equipment. I always suggest to have a mat, so you wanna have a mat rolled out, always great for a little bit of extra cushioning underneath the joints. And we will be using a band, which is just a fully looped band, and then a set of weights. Today I have 3-pound weights, but you're always welcome to use 1, 2, or 3. You're also welcome body weight, and you do not have to worry about these pieces of equipment if you don't have them. All right, we're gonna get started on our mat today. So make sure you have some water nearby, you have your mat rolled out, and if you're choosing to use equipment, we are going to have that nearby as well, so we can easily access it. We have about 15 minutes today, and it's all on the mat, okay? So day 1, we're gonna keep it nice and simple. We're not even gonna come up to standing, which I know probably sounds pretty exciting for some of us as we're just stepping into it. And I love a fully reclined mat series. So we will meet in tabletop a little bit, but for the most part, we will just be finding some movement all the way down here on the mat for the next 15 minutes together. So settle yourself in, meet me down on the mat, laying on your back, and find a comfortable position. Once you find that comfortable resting position here, it might be the legs totally stretched out, it might be the feet together, the knees open in a reclined butterfly. Whatever feels good for you here. I always just like to settle into the space by taking a couple deep breaths. So we'll start with a big inhale in through the nose and a nice long exhale out through the mouth. Just allowing yourself to settle into the space, bring your energy into the space here. One more big inhale and nice long exhale. When you're ready on your next exhale, we'll draw the knees up to the chest and give ourselves a nice big hug here. You can start by just adding some rocking from side to side, or maybe opening and closing the legs. Circling the legs to one side. This is your chance here to just massage through the low back, through the hips. Should feel nice, especially if you sit a lot or do a lot of the same motion daily. When you're ready, keeping the legs together, we're going to allow the knees to fall over towards the right side of the mat in a gentle twist. Arms can come out to a cactus. Let's take one more big breath in here. And as you exhale, we bring the legs back up through center, and we allow them to fall over to the opposite side of the mat. Just seeing if you can relax in this twist. We'll give ourselves one more big breath in here. And then as you come back up through the center, let's go ahead and plant the feet on the mat, just like so. Arms will come down by your side in A-frame, palm pressing down onto the mat, and we'll start with some pelvic tilts. Now, this is a really important part of the beginning of our Pilates classes, and I will do this pretty much every single class. And what this is doing is allowing us to find a neutral spine on the mat. So it is helpful. We're going to be finding an inhale as we tip the hips away from us, or the pelvis away from us, and you'll find that there's this arch in the back off of your mat. And then as you exhale, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to tip the hip bones up towards your face, and you're going to imprint your back down into the mat. So the belly is drawing in tight. Inhaling as you find that arch. Exhaling as you imprint. Good, 2 more here. And what we're doing is finding, again, some movement through the pelvis, through the mid-back, the low back, but we're also starting to connect our breath to core, which is really important in Pilates. Good. Once you finish that last imprint, go ahead and release those pelvic tilts, and that's your neutral spine. So you're no longer arching your back, but you're also no longer pressing down really intensely, and that's where we find our neutral spine. We're going to go ahead and bring the hands behind the head, open the elbows up, soft fingertips behind the head here. Exhaling as we lift through head, neck, shoulders. Inhaling as we lower down. Exhaling. Inhaling. So notice for yourself right away if you're putting a lot of pressure on the neck and sort of bending the neck to see your belly button. This is a bit too much of a bend in the neck. We want the gaze to be up, right on the diagonal. If you're in a room, you can think of right where the wall and ceiling connect. Inhaling to lower, exhaling to lift. Now this is our beginner series, so I'm not going to be offering too many variations. However, I do like to offer just a couple. So if you'd like to build one time with me here, then when you find that curl, you're gonna lift your right knee to the chest. Inhale, right foot comes back down, upper body lowers. Exhale, left. Inhale. Good. Keep this moving with your own breath at your own pace, okay? So don't worry about my pace. If you're lifting the knee, we're going to take it across with the elbow. Come back through the center. So right knee, left elbow. Left knee, right elbow. If you're choosing to keep the feet planted, then you're going to continue with that curl, but you're going to reach the elbow across and come back down. So we're getting a little bit of those obliques going. We're getting that cross feeling through the midsection. Good. Always controlling as you lower back down onto the mat. We have two more here. Last one, meet me here. Everything is lifted in the upper body. We have 10 quick little pulses up. We pulse up for 10. Exhaling with your pulses. Good, we're here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering everything down. Nice job. Take a big good morning stretch. Arms and legs reach out nice and long, and you're going to grab onto your band. If you have to rock and roll forward to come up to seated to find your band, you're welcome to do that. If you can grab it while laying down, then you can stay on your back. As promised, we're spending a lot of time on our back today, okay? Band is going to go on the legs just above the knees, and the feet are going to come down to plant on the mat. You're going to reach down and see if you can tap your ankles with your right, your left hand on either side, just to keep those feet in close towards your sit bones. We're going to lay ourselves right back down, planting the hands down, and then going ahead and planting the feet down. Knees are pressing open a little bit against your band, and if you don't have a band on, I want you to imagine that there's a bit of tension, and you're going to push away from that tension. Keeping the heels and keeping the shoulder blades grounded down into your mat as your 2 anchoring points. Exhale as you lift the hips up. Everything lifts up in one piece. You're in that first glute bridge, squeezing the bum. Inhale as you lower the hips down to hover. Exhaling, we lift. Inhaling, we lower. Sometimes I think that there's a few misconceptions about Pilates, and one being that it's not totally accessible to everyone. And I actually think that Pilates is one of the most accessible ways to move your body because there are so many options. Yeah. So I really want you to take these next 5 days to find what works for your body. If I give you 2 or 3 options and you don't really like 2 of them or they don't work for your body, then stick with the other one, yeah? There's no pressure. You're not married to any of the options and you can choose along as you go. Gives you a chance to build and a chance to peel back. Let's do 2 more here. Last one, you're gonna meet me up in the air. We're gonna hold. Exhale as we push the legs open. So maybe you're pushing against the tension of the band, or maybe you have that imaginary band on today and you're opening the legs a couple inches, working for abduction. Exhaling, inhaling. Noticing as you open the legs, do the hips drop? Let's try to keep those hips lifted and super engaged in the glutes and the bum. Exhaling to open, inhaling to close. Good, we're really trying to wake up through the glutes now that we've taken some time to fire up through the core. We've got 2 more. Beautiful, last one. Meet me back in the center here. So legs are back into neutral. Exhale, we lift the heels off the mat, coming up onto the balls of the feet. Inhale, we lower back down. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we lower. Good, and again, keep those glutes squeezing the whole time. We haven't let go of that yet. You're starting to work into the calves, into the ankles as you lift and lower the heels, coming right up onto the balls of the feet. We have 2 more. This time, can we hold the heels lifted? So meet me up there, heels stay lifted. Inhale, drop the hips down an inch, release the glutes. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, lift up an inch. Inhale, down an inch. Exhale, up an inch. And remember, you're welcome to rest at any time, okay? So if it ever becomes too much in any of our movements, child's pose, laying on our back, or just grabbing some water is a great way to reset. Friends, we've got 2 more like this. We have 10 quick pulses up. You got this. Here we go. Lift the hips up for 10, 9, 8. Good, you're almost there. Knees are still pressing open halfway. Final 3, 2, and uno. Softly lower everything down. Nice job, knees drawn to the chest. Whew, okay. Let's go ahead and slide that band off if you were using it. You can press to one side or rock and roll yourself forward. We're gonna come all the way up. How are you feeling? Check in with yourself. The glutes should definitely be on fire. We're gonna be using our weights next if you're choosing to use weights with me. We're gonna also be kneeling. So I personally like a little bit of extra support underneath my knees. You can take a towel if you have one nearby and fold it in half, put it under your knees, or you can just fold your mat in half. I'm gonna fold mine long ways like so that I can still face you, but you can always fold yours short ways a couple times if you'd like. All right, weights are gonna be in our hands today. If you're choosing one in each hand, I'm in a kneeling position. Shoulders are drawing down and away from the ears. Soft micro bend in the elbow always. Exhale as we lift the arms up right into that T, still seeing the weights in your peripherals. Inhaling as you lower. Exhaling. Inhaling. I feel like I have this confession that I have to make because I feel like we always have these sort of thoughts that, okay, yeah, you film something and it's like one and done and it's perfect. Well, I filmed this class already and I filmed it in the wrong way in portrait mode instead of landscape, and so it wasn't gonna work. But in that specific video that I filmed, my dog came in and decided to bring me some things that she had been eating outside. So it was quite funny, and I thought that I was gonna leave that in the video, but it was the wrong direction, so it's probably better that way anyway. Last one, you're gonna meet me up at the top. We're gonna hold right here, rotate the weights towards me, bending through the elbows. Inhale, round the arms through like you're holding onto a beach ball or hugging a big tree, and then open the arms right back out to the side. Keep that bend in the elbows. Exhaling as we round in, inhaling. We open the arms. Exhale. Inhale. That's it, you got it. We should start to feel maybe a little bit of a burn through the shoulders. And I want you to try to think about keeping the hips and the shoulders stacked. So we're not sinking back to our heels, or we're not hinging and leaning back to try to counterbalance the movement. We want to stay lifting up nice and tall. If it becomes too much on the knees, you can always sink down and you can find a lower seated position or a short kneeling position on your mat. That's it. We have 2 more here. Last one, you're going to meet me out to the side. We're going to start 10 little pulses up to the ceiling. Good. If you're in that tall kneeling position, squeeze the bum a little bit, lift through the lower abs. Exhale is going to bring that engagement right into the belly. We're here for 3, 2, you're going to try to hold for me. Bend the arms into cactus. You can still see the elbows, the weights in your peripherals, and then reach those arms back out to the side. Good. Exhaling. Inhaling. You got it. Lots of work for the shoulders today. Shake it out when you need. We still want this to be challenging. So even though it is our beginner series, we're doing those simple movements that we can get to know. We're just doing a few more reps of them. If you're feeling like you need rest, you always take it. Last one, meet me in cactus. We're right here. We have 10 pulses up. You can do this. Breathe with it. I'm feeling the burn. Stay with me. We're here for 4, 3, 2. Can you hold those arms into cactus for me? I know it's a big push. Can you try to bring the arms forward in front of the body and squeeze the forearms together, the elbows together? 10 pulses here to finish. 10, 9, exhaling 8. I know. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Great work, friends. Let's put those weights down here and we can sink back down into that short position. Let's bring one ear to one shoulder, round forward, chin to chest, and then same over to the other side. Releasing through the neck and the traps if you felt a bit of tension. You can also take a nice little stretch for the shoulder, bringing it across the body. We're going to unroll the mat if we had it rolled up. Grab some water because you're always welcome to at any time. And then we are going to meet in a plank series today. So first time doing a plank series together, there are going to be a few pieces of form that we talk about, but right off the bat, I think a lot of people think, oh, like it doesn't feel nice on my wrists, and that's totally valid. You can do your plank on your forearms. So I'll show you your 2 different options here. So we're gonna meet with the hands under shoulders. We're gonna walk the feet back into our high plank. And this is typically what we're thinking about, sensitive on the wrist perhaps. You can come down onto your forearms and you can do the same plank series, but on your forearms today. So I want you to choose where you wanna be. And then beyond that, you're always welcome to bring your knees down. We want to make sure we're not sticking the bum out, but we are keeping the hips forward, because if those knees are down, this is what's going to keep the core working for us. If we're back here, we lose all of that good work, okay? So choose where you want to be in your plank. Sure, some of us are like, I actually don't want to be in a plank today. We won't be here for long, okay? This is our last big push, and then we're into a little gentle stretch, okay? So we're in this high plank, we're holding. Weight is forward over the hands or forearms. Soft bend in the elbows if you're on your hands. Take a nice big inhale. Take an exhale, tighten the belly. Good, one more like this. Big breath in. Exhale, we lift the hips up, down dog. Inhale, we roll through the spine. We find ourselves into our high plank. If you're on your forearms, you're in your dolphin down dog. Same thing, pressing under the shoulders, lifting the hips, rolling through the spine, finding that plank. Good, lifting up. Exhaling, inhaling as you come through. We have 2 more like this. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale to lift. Inhale as we come all the way back down. Can we hold that plank still? Always option to transition onto the knees if you need, or take a little rest. We're gonna be holding here for a little bit longer. Good, remember this is that final push. Take a big breath in. Take a nice long exhale. We hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Knees come down. Great work. Find yourself into a child's pose. Arms reach forward, head releases. You can always walk the knees out a little bit further if that feels good for the hips, for the belly. We just hang out here for a nice long breath. On your next exhale, go ahead and meet me up into tabletop. You're gonna find that tabletop position, and we move through a few cats and cows here. So inhaling as you draw the belly down towards the mat, you lift the tail, the forehead, the chin. Exhale as you round through the spine, draw chin to chest, release the head. Inhaling and exhaling. One more cycle through, breathing in and breathing out. Good, find that neutral spine here. Step your right foot forward to the outside of both of your hands. So your right foot is on the right side. We're gonna find our nice low lizard lunge. You can stay here. You can also walk down onto your forearms if you'd like to go a little bit deeper into this stretch. Maybe this feels good to be up on your hands. You take one big breath here. And shifting your weight back, walk your hands back, sweep your right leg back, step your left leg forward, nice low lunge. If you're on your forms, we're back up onto our hands. We're pressing back here and we're sweeping our left leg around. You can sit back down onto your shins here, and we'll just finish with one big breath. We're gonna roll the shoulders and squeeze them up to the ears, breathing in and breathing out as you release. Beautiful work today, friends. You made it through day 1. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for showing up for day 1. I feel like that's always the hardest day. We have 4 days left together, and we are, like I mentioned, going to make our way up to some standing work eventually, but that build is gonna be really gradual and it's gonna feel good by the time we get up there. So drink lots of water, stay hydrated, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you back here for day 2 tomorrow.